Hello chemistry fans, and welcome back to Chemistry 1032 problem solving session here at the Academic Success Center on Broward College North Campus. I am your host, Dr. Russell Betts, and I'll be your guide through this problem today. So let's jump right in. Consider the combustion of propane, C3H8. How many grams of water will be generated if 51 grams of propane is combusted? All right. So this is propane here, and this is water over here. So we want to know from 51 grams of this material, how many grams of water will we generate? And the first thing we have to understand in these kind of questions is that these numbers in front of the molecules are the coefficients, and they stand for either molecules, atoms, or moles. So for example, here we have 1 mole of propane will give us 4 moles of water. That's what it's telling us. 1 mole of propane equals 4 moles of water. So let's write that down right up here. 1 mole, C3H8 equals 4 moles of water, H2O. All right. So that's the first thing we have to understand. But the trouble is we're given propane in grams. So we can't use that number right now. We can't use that because in order to figure out this number, we have to know that number, moles. So we got to figure out moles first. Now that's not hard. We simply have to convert grams to moles. Remember the molehill I showed you? If you're in grams, you simply use the atomic or the molecular mass to convert to moles. So the first thing we have to do is we have to figure out the atomic or the molecular mass of propane, and while we're at it, we may as well figure out the molecular mass of water. So C3H8 equals 3 times carbon, 8 times hydrogen equals water is 2 times hydrogen, 1 times oxygen. Bust out the periodic table, which hopefully all of you can be familiar with now. 3 times 12.01 grams per mole and 8 times 1.01 grams per mole. Okay, over here, 2 times 1.01 grams per mole and 1 times 16.00 grams per mole. All right, let's get rid of the table. We don't need it anymore. And break out the calculator and calculate the molecular masses of these two molecules. Now I'm focusing on propane and water because that's what the question asked me to focus on. If I wanted to know the mass of the CO2 generated, I'd have to calculate the mass of the CO2, the molecular mass. All right, 3 times 12.01 plus 8 times 1.01 equals 44.11. All right, and 2 multiplied by 1.01 plus 16 equals 18.02 grams per mole. All right, so we've calculated the atomic masses, molecular masses. Okay, so now this is all in moles. We've written the equality we need to work with right here, moles. We must convert grams to moles. So we're in 51 grams of propane. So we have grams, C3H8, multiplied by something will give us moles, C3H8. Put the moles on top, grams on the bottom. So we have to use this one here because that's the molecular mass of C3H8. So we put the 44.11 on the bottom and the number 1 on the top, and 51 goes right there. Okay, break out the calculator again. 51 divided by 44.11 equals. And that's going to be 1.2. 2 significant figures. So my answer has 2 significant figures. So it's 1.2 moles of that. So let's put a little square around that because that's an important number. And I want to be able to find it quickly in the bunch of numbers that are going to follow here. As you can see, there's a lot going on already. So it's pretty important, I think, to make things stand out, especially on exams, so that you don't miss them or you can find them quickly. Okay, so we are in moles. C3H8. We want to multiply that by something to give me moles of water. Now, again, we want to know the grams of this. But this number here and that number there, the coefficients are in moles. So we're going to convert moles of C3H8 to moles of water. That's why we must convert the grams to moles. We cannot convert directly grams to grams from here, because this unit is not grams, this unit is moles. So we have to convert moles to moles. We cannot ever go grams to grams. Even though it's convenient, even though it feels nice and you get an answer, the answer will be wrong. Because this molecule and that molecule do not have the same molecular weight. Alright, so moles, C3H8 on the bottom, grams, moles of water, the unit we want, on the top. So let's get out the different color. That divides out, leaving us in the unit moles of H2O. So 1.2 goes there. Now, here we must be mindful, be very careful. These numbers are coming from here. Mole of H2O, number 4. Mole of propane, C3H8, 1. So multiply 1.2 by 4 and divide it by 1. 4.8. 4.8 moles of water. Now, again, the question says grams of water. You may even want to put a box around that to remind yourself that's what we're trying to get to. We have to get to grams. This unit is not grams. That unit is moles. So we have to convert moles of water to grams of water. So let's write that. Mole H2O multiplied by something to give us grams of H2O. Put the mole of water on the bottom. Gram H2O on the top. Those cancel. Okay? I hope that you're seeing that we're doing the same steps that we've been doing for conversions right here. We're just, in essence, we're converting grams to moles of propane, moles of propane to moles of water to grams of water. They're just it's just 3 different conversions. Nothing that you guys can't handle. 18.02 goes here. I get that number from right there. The number 1 comes down here. And 4.8 from here goes there. Right there. So now, 4.8 multiplied by 18.02 equals 86. And put a square around the final answer. It's 86 again because there's 2 sig figs right there, 2 sig figs right there. All right? Now, this question is probably one of the harder questions we do in this chapter. It's really not difficult, it's just many steps. You have to put a lot of things together. First, you have to understand that you can't convert grams to grams. You just can't do that. You have to always convert to moles because the molecular weight of these 2 molecules is not the same. So we have to convert to the mole to relate everything back to the atom. Because remember, the mole is just a word that means a number. What else do we have to do? We have to calculate molecular mass. And we have to use that molecular mass to convert grams to moles and then moles back to grams. So there's many steps here. They're all steps you know how to do. If I were to ask you individually these steps, you would figure it out. But now I'm asking you to put everything together. This is more of a critical thinking. Can you think your way through this problem? All right? Now this is hard. If you haven't got it, or you still have problems, or it's giving you trepidation, don't hesitate to contact one of the tutors here at the Academic Success Center. They're here to help. Also, if you want to come by office hours during normal business time, please do not hesitate to do so. I'll be more than happy to help you, and I'm sure if I'm not your professor, I'm sure any of our professors here at North Campus would be happy to assist you. And with that, I'd like to wish you good luck and good chemistry.